Oh, what is good, everybody? Welcome into the Monday edition of the Coach and Company podcast. We do the show 4 or 5 days a week. We try to do 5 to support the morning show. If you missed any of the morning show on Stadium, YouTube, or socials, I encourage you to go back. We had a ton of best bets for today, baseball, NFL tonight. Do not forget, we still have several other shows coming out of BTT Studios today. Sirius XM, channel 156 at 2 to 4 Eastern time. Then at 5 p.m. Eastern time, we have the Coach and Bro Show with me and Vince Russo, everything in the world of pro wrestling. And then tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time, it's the Monday Night Grind, which is going to be a great Monday night game. The Chiefs on the road in Jacksonville. And with all of the results that we had over the weekend, all of the sudden, the Kansas City Chiefs 0-2 start doesn't look that bad. But also, do not sleep on the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have a better record than the Chiefs. They are 3-1 and a chance to go to 4-1 and really show the entire NFL how good they are. Now, joining me today is a man that will be a part of the Monday Night Grind, and he's really taken on a much bigger role here, and I appreciate that so much. Mikey P, sitting in for your boy yesterday while I was up raising money for charity. Thank you very much, and hello to you, sir.
Hello to you, Coach, and thank you for the workout plan the last 2 Sundays because I've just been sweating right before getting on air, and I am just dropping LBs by the second. So honestly, if you guys are looking for a workout plan, have Coach give you some extra duties, if you know what I mean. And it's been great though, and the NFL has delivered. Special thanks to the NFL for having their late afternoon games and right before I get on air. It's been fantastic.
It's a beautiful thing. One of my favorite shows that I've ever done is when I was at ESPN. I would do the NFL radio every Sunday from 1 o'clock to 7:30 or 7:45. Those 6 hours used to fly by. It's the most fun. I can only imagine how much fun Scott Hansen has doing the red zone and doing all of that. That's his baby. That's his thing. He replaced me in Madden this year because they wanted a real studio show. I said, you don't want to show the corner of my bedroom upstairs where I've recorded the last 4 years since COVID? I don't get that at all. But what I looked at yesterday as I was making the long trek home from wine country, straight down I-5, which is a highway that goes from Canada all the way to Mexico. You don't even have to turn. It's crazy. But the theme to me, Mikey, for yesterday and the first 5 weeks of this year is that leads mean absolutely nothing. And I'm not talking 3-0. I'm talking double-digit leads. Just yesterday, the Giants were like, man, they're going to have 2 straight wins in a row impressively. Chargers and then the Saints, 14-3. They don't score again after the first half. Dallas looked great. They scored 37. They beat the Jets. The over came in. But how about Philadelphia up 14? They don't score again. I don't know what's going on with all these big leads. Do you have an answer for me?
It's bad coaching and it's undisciplined football. I mean, especially you look at that Giants game, you commit 5 turnovers, you should absolutely lose every single game. And there's not growing pains in the NFL. For my money, if you're Brian Dable or any NFL head coach and you turn the page to a new young quarterback or whatever the case may be, you have to fall in line with what you're setting yourself up for. I'll look at Aaron Glenn, same thing. You took the job. You told Aaron Rodgers kick rocks. You wanted Justin Fields. And now we're seeing the result of those decisions. Jackson Dart, I understand he's a rookie. Rookie mistakes happen, but you cannot have some of the bad plays that they had as a football team and expect to win no matter what your lead was.
And they weren't planning on being a playoff team this year, but they want to. Whenever you have a young quarterback, you want to get better every single week. And this is only a second start. But I think he's going to be a really, really good NFL quarterback. I really do. So I'm not worried about him. And Scam Scatabo, I'm so tired of the narrative, Mikey, that, he's undersized, so he can't play in the league. At the combine, he hit all the marks. Not him, but you know what I mean. They look at some players, and they don't measure heart. This is a dude that I would start my team with tomorrow, metaphorically speaking, of course, because he plays with heart, and he plays hard, and he's never going to be a 200-yard a game guy. but I think he could be 100-yard a game combined guy. Are you high on him? Because right to me, he's been one of the bright spots on a bad team.
When I talked about the Giants turnovers, you notice I didn't mention him because this man took all responsibility. He goes to the bench, he goes, I need new gloves, and he's not mad at himself. We see players commit turnovers and they're throwing their helmets, they're isolating themselves from the team. He's like, just give me new gloves. And then one of my favorite plays of the weekend, you have to go back and find it on social media, but he's making a run block and takes the Saints defender not out of the play, into the ground. And he's such a tenacious guy. He doesn't do it and cost his team 15 yards by being overly aggressive. He just established his dominance. I love Cam Scatterboot. I love what he's about. He should be a New York favorite. And Coach, if Rico Dwaddle can run for 200 yards over the Dolphins, I think Cam Scatterboot's got a 300-yard game in his future.
That's a great point. That's a great point. By the way, his numbers yesterday: 15 carries, 59 yards, 6 catches, 45 yards. So I mentioned that 100-yard barrier. He went over it by 4 yards. I think he's going to be certainly a guy that you got to lean into. And this whole nonsense, I call it the little league mentality that everybody has to play or everybody deserves a spot. To me, I think, and I've been guilty of this myself in our personal brands, is you get caught up in the fans or you get caught instead of who's great. What's great? What does greatness look like? And greatness looks like Cam Scatterboot to me. Now, on the flip side of that, there are schedules and there are primetime games. And this year, the Baltimore Ravens were thought to be a really, really great team. I think there's going to be some primetime games that are looked at and go, oh, why do we have this one? One, then there's a 2, 3. Okay, oh, thank God. Only 3 left. But when I think of great players in the league, Mikey, most never get a chip. Most never get an opportunity because you can only have one, and your career might last 7 to 10 years if you're lucky, unless you're a generational quarterback or a franchise quarterback, and you might play 10 to 15. But Lamar Jackson might go down as the greatest athlete to never win a Super Bowl because they're 1-4. They gave up 44 points. And it's kind of like the Mike Tomlin thing to me, that John Harbaugh's been there so long, they run it like a college program. But at some point, I know it's injuries, maybe you got to have a little bit of a change to change the philosophy because that is bad. But to me, 20 years in the NFL is plenty of time to not win one.
It definitely is. And when you looked at the injury report for the Baltimore Ravens, I believe it was their top 6 highest paid players were all out for that game. The biggest takeaway I have, I'm going to go back to the guy we just talked about, Cam Scatterboot. He had as many carries and 3 times the production as Derrick Henry. So for my money in my lifetime, which hasn't been that long, but it's been long enough, there has been one player, one athlete, one guy, and I'm not talking about you, Coach, unfortunately, who has never been defeated by Father Time, and his name is Tom Brady. Derrick Henry, you've met your match. You got your money. You got paid. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. At one point, I believe he had 6 yards rushing in that game, and I know you're going to go away from him, but he had 15 carries. He's lost a step, and it's okay to say it.
He has 33 yards. And we were talking prior to week 1 about the big thing that Dan Patrick did, promising him a role in an Adam Sandler movie if he got to 2,000 yards. That was a very real thing. And so far this season, he has 317 yards through 5 games. I'm not a math major, but that's 60 yards a game. And one of those games, I believe he had 177. So he's had 140 in the other 4 games. Mikey, that's not good for a dude that you were going to call your bell cow this year. It's just bad all the way around. Now, the flip side is how good is Houston? Because Houston has scored 70 points, 70-10, and low key, and it even happens on our show. I am so tired of handicappers, media, talent going, oh, but that team is terrible. So you can't take anything away from that game. Yes, you can. Love you, son. Be good. And if you beat an NFL team Tennessee 26-0. Beat Arizona yesterday. These are NFL squads. What do you take away from 70-10 the last 2 weeks to improve to 2-3?
I think they got challenged and they had to answer the call. I think that's just what it comes down to. You could look at their schedule and say, oh, it played into their favor. But on any given Sunday, hate to be cliche about it, on any given Sunday or Saturday, any team can be beat. This comes back to the original talking point of this whole day. Coaching. Who as a coach is going to lead their team to the promised land? Because we put so much stock and value into star players, and it is the players that make the NFL such a lucrative business. But at the end of the day, these star players get nowhere without the right coaching pairs. So I think this all comes down to coaching, and the Texans have answered the call right now.
All right, let's stay in Texas and Dallas. They took care of business, and they have shown their offense is not the problem, Mikey. They can score and score and score. Dak Prescott, solid 237, 4 scores. How about Williams on the ground, 16 for 135, a long of 66. Then who's this guy? Flournoy? 6 for 114. Where did he come from?
Listen, Coach, I'm convinced you want to talk about the Dallas Cowboys every week so you can hear me do my Jerry Jones impression. I won't do it this week, but this is exactly what Jerry Jones was talking about. He wants to put the success of the franchise into the hands of Dak Prescott. He'll figure out everything else along the way. And I'm going to keep pounding the table for this as long as they keep losing. Jerry Jones, call Cincinnati and get Trey Hendrickson on your team. I don't care what it costs. You've got 2 firsts for a reason. I'm not saying trade a first for him. Just go get him. You can make up for it later. But no, the Dallas Cowboys, and here's another thing I love about the Cowboys. Same thing I used to do as a Bears fan. I used to work retail, Coach. I used to tell Bears fans all the time, oh, you hate Jay Cutler? Oh, he's the most talented quarterback in Bears history. Jim McMahon was blind in one eye, so physically you lose that argument. You tell Cowboys fans Dak Prescott's one of the greatest quarterbacks in Cowboys franchise history. They go, no, he's not. Statistically, he is.
His numbers say that he is. I just have this gut feeling they're going to have a decent year. And it's amazing when your best player, CeeDee Lamb, goes out and you still look the part. And it's happening in Kansas City as well, that if you can still win the game, sometimes it's the best thing that can happen to you. Because then when CeeDee Lamb comes back, Flournoy, that's how you say his name, Flournoy, whatever, he's still going to have that confidence when he's in the game to run really critical routes and get open, because CeeDee Lamb always gets the double team. It's happening in Kansas City now that Xavier Worthy's back. You got the deep, I'm blanking on his name right now, number 80, 81.
Tyquan Thornton.
Thornton, thank you. Good Lord, I couldn't remember. And then you got Rashee Rice coming back. So if you give me those 3 guys and Kelsey, now we got something. So all those Chiefs haters out there, I'm telling you, these receivers make a difference. The Cowboys, real quick, at Carolina next week, and Carolina beat the Dolphins yesterday, which I believe Mike McDaniel, his career there might be coming to an end maybe today. Then they're home to Washington, at Denver, and then home to Arizona. So I see it. I think they beat the Commanders at home. So at worst, it's 2-2. And right now they're 2-1-1. And they've scored 37, 40, and 40. And then the other game against your Bears, they only scored 14. But if they go in at 4-3-1, not great. 5-2-1, that's a different story, right?
Yeah, and I said this on the Sunday evening show. I think Javonte Williams may go down this. I know it's only 5 games, but he may go down this season as one of the best underrated free agent signings. This is a guy who had multiple injuries in Denver. People wrote him off. Everyone's calling for new running backs in Dallas, and look what he's done. He's just been absolutely fantastic. So I agree with you, Coach. I think at worst 2-2. I would be shocked if they don't come out 3-1. And I even wouldn't be surprised if they swept the next 4 games on their schedule.
I wouldn't either. I misspoke, by the way. I forgot about the loss to Philadelphia to open the season, so I apologize. They're 2-1. Don't at me on the Twitter, please. I've had enough of that. I've been fighting with wrestling fans all night. You know when you can't sleep, you'll go on. I go on, I'll do like a Q&A. Be like, hey, anybody, shoot all your questions. And right now I feel like I'm the wrestling ticket whisperer, because prices just came out. I don't know if you saw this. Do you see some of the prices for WrestleMania next April that just went on sale? And I thought that it was a misprint. I thought the numbers weren't real. And all these fans now send them to me because of my Sirius show. They're selling some tickets are like $32,000. It's not even obscene. It's just ridiculous. And I feel like that's all I talk about these days because that's all fans can talk about because they can't even watch it in person. What do you make of the ticket prices, Rule? I know it's off topic, but it's a big topic.
No, and you know me, coach. You throw a topic at me, I'm going to be prepared, but also I'm going to have my own personal spin on it. The ticket prices are outrageous, but I think the wrestling business as a whole, when it comes to price points, have become outrageous. As you know, as you've got me behind the scenes on the Coach and Bro show, I had to play up the character. I ordered 2 boxes of cereal, the Frosted Yeets. Would you like to guess how much two
Oh my
boxes of
gosh.
cereal cost me?
2 boxes of Yeets? Is it like a grain cereal or is it all
Yeah,
sugar? Is it all sugar or is it like a grain?
I believe it's all sugar. It's all
All
sugar.
sugar. Yeah, just like the Bootios back in the
Yeah.
day. Do you know this actually lives somewhere? When I was at ESPN and we started our relationship, by the way, I think it's probably $25 for 2 boxes of
20 bucks. 20
20
bucks.
bucks. That's insane. $10 for a box of cereal is crazy. Um, they literally at Madison Square Garden had me come out to announce that we were taking Sports Center to WrestleMania. And in doing so, they had me dance with the New Day when they were baby faces. And I said, I love my bootios. Those words actually came out of my mouth. I love my bootios. Um, I'll never say it again, but I said it then. A few other things. I know we haven't hit on college at all. I'm trying not to get stuck in the bad beats, but have you ever seen a worse bad beat than the Alabama Vandy game on Saturday? It was 13 and a half, 14, whatever your number was. Doesn't matter because it ended up being a 16-point game. But I don't know that I've ever seen a game end like that where they hold the team to field goals. They go 6, then 9, and then they drop a pass on 4th down. The guy was wide open. And then Bama has the ball like the 20. Run, run, run. 2-minute warning. Run, run, run. 4th down, 16 seconds to go. And then Vandy's defense all of a sudden goes, oh, let's just let him walk in on 4th down. Mikey, I've never seen that maybe in my entire sports career. What is going on in college as well?
Yeah, well, I've got a little message, and I did do bad over the weekend in college football. So I do have a message for these college football athletes. You guys have gotten your money, all right? And not all of you are
Yes.
going to go to the NFL. Some of you are going to sell insurance in 5 years. So start thinking about us. Start thinking about the public, right? You guys all get paid. And when you guys turn out to not be athletes anymore and you start laying down your own best bets and you start losing money because 19-year-olds, you're going to be just as pissed off as me. Stop letting bad beats happen. I'm over it.
I am so over it. I'm actually thinking about like, taking a break. Like I really, really am. I mean, it's beyond frustrating. I can take losing. I could take losing. I can't take this. I can't take this. One of the things that wasn't a bad beat was Ohio State. They went 42-3. They are clearly the best team in the country. And I don't think there's any question. Why are you turning your head like that? You don't think they're the best team in the country?
Carson Beck, Miami on line one for you, coach. Carson Beck and Miami on line
What
one for you.
the same team that almost let Florida State come all the way back and only won by 6? And Florida and Ohio State has not given up a touchdown in 3 weeks? You
I
can
withdraw my
elaborate. You
objection.
can
I withdraw
elaborate.
my objection, Your Honor. I withdraw my
I
objection.
mean, no, you can stand on it if you want to.
No,
That
I think finally though, and I may or may not have had this planned for Rant Wednesday later this week. Finally, we're seeing programs who actually want to be good. Finally, we're seeing programs who want to compete. I don't know if there's been any sense of self pride in football at the college or pro level this year. Thankfully, Miami and Ohio State are showing it. Individual players, that's another topic, but I'm just happy that we can actually have the debate of who's number one and not just who just keeps winning.
Me too. One of the more popular bets in college was Virginia and Louisville. And the over was 59, I think. and Louisville kicks a field goal to tie the game at 24. And I'm like, oh my goodness, the bad beat's going to come our way. On 4th and 1, Louisville kicks a field goal. Everybody knows, Mikey, that the second team always scores in overtime. Always. Why would they kick a field goal and then Virginia scores on the third play, 30-27? The under comes in by 2 points, and Louisville coach has got to be sitting in his office right afterwards going, and that was a really pivotal game. Virginia is a really good team in the ACC, and to go on the road and get that win. But if you're the Louisville coach, you can't coach scared, and you can't kick a field goal on 4th and 1 in overtime.
Is this thing on? Sean McVay, are you listening to this? Because that's the same thing. Scared coaching is not, I mean, we say scared money don't make money, but you're going to lose money if you're a scared coach. I mean, everyone expected Louisville to run away with this. And coach, I think you may be on line 2 when I'm giving some of my plays to a friend of mine, because I had Louisville. I gave him the college upset of the weekend. He played it. He's like, I need to parlay it. So I gave him Michigan. I gave him Maryland with the points. And then I gave him Louisville and Texas. And I am so sorry. I am so sorry that I believed the hype. I thought Virginia was going to have an emotional letdown game. Listen, I'm going to sound like I'm beating a dead horse. Coaching is going to ruin slips. That should be a t-shirt. Coaching ruins slips.
I'm blown away. And college coaching is different than NFL coaching. College coaching, they just do stupid shit. NFL coaching, they don't know. Last night, I literally clapped for Mike Vrabel last night. He is when I watch him on the sidelines coach his Patriots, that's a pro coach. That I don't know if you were watching the end of the first half, but they had the ball and he strategically maneuvered that clock to where the Bills were not getting the ball back no matter what. Now, they had to settle for a field goal, but I'm watching him going, he's looking up at the clock, and it was like 12, 11. And he goes, okay, 10. Okay, there we go. Then it goes down to 4. Okay, we're good. All right, now let's run a play for 3 seconds. So we got 1. I mean, it's a lost art because I watch Dan Campbell all the time, who couldn't, clock manage. But I think the Lions are a pretty good team. So, sorry, I got into the NFL, but you get my point. Which takes me to the last topic, and we never go longer than 20 or 30 minutes. We'll get out of here on this one. Has there ever been, and not a lot of bad things have happened to the Manning family. They both have Super Bowl championships. The third brother is the brains behind their entire Omaha Productions, all of that. But I think that Arch Manning might be a little bit overrated. He's a good quarterback, but he's a $7 million NIL quarterback with the Manning name, and he's not playing up to par at all. And they got rolled. I know the final score was closer, but they got rolled physically by Florida.
If I look at the curious case of Arch Manning, I look at a guy who is in a sense, victim of his last name, but even more so a victim of the program he's at. You can be a $7 million NIL athlete. Take it to Louisville. All due respect. Take it anywhere but these top programs, especially if you feel like, hey, I think I'm very, very good, but maybe, and we heard his family came out and said, oh, he's not going pro next year. So they have your best long-term future in their best interest. So when I look at Arch Manning, I'm like, wait a second. Maybe Texas was too big for you. Maybe go to a Tennessee. Maybe go somewhere else where you not only have to live up to the program history, but you got to live up to the family name history. I think Arch Manning would have benefited from looking at a different school that maybe might have paid him more than $7 million as well.
Did you hear on the? He could have made more money. He's just a different cat. I like him as a person. When I hear him talk, and he even runs like the Mannings. It's crazy how they move. But when you say he's not going to the pros next year, it's starting to make sense why he set the first 2 years. Because I remember saying on a couple of shows that I was doing, why isn't he starting as a freshman? Why isn't he starting over whatever the quarterback was who went to the pros? Quinn Ewers. And it didn't make sense to me because of all the hype. And we'd only seen the high school video. I'm like, $7 million. Do you know he made 4 trips to Georgia, Alabama, and Texas each before he chose Texas? 12 trips to make sure that's where he wanted to go. Isn't it pretty obvious now why he was kept on the bench the first 2 years he was at Texas?
I think the fascination with Arch Manning was the fact that if you compared him to Quinn Ewers, he was a different quarterback, right? Quinn was more of a pocket guy, a
Mhm.
gunslinger throwing it down the field, where we're like, wait, a Manning who likes to run? We've never seen that. So I think Arch Manning's kind of dual threat capabilities, which have not been great this year, I think that's what kind of made him so fascinating. But you talked about Georgia, Alabama, and obviously he's at Texas. I think all the other two programs are happy he's not there. You don't have to deal with the hoopla around Arch, and Texas might be going, where can we get that 7 million back from?
I think those boosters are doing just fine down there in Texas. All right, we could talk these games all day. There's that many, and we absolutely love doing it. But we promise you every single day, we never go past 30 minutes because we respect your time and we respect the fact that you join us. Do not forget, plenty more shows coming up depending on when you're watching this. 2 to 4 Eastern time, Off the Ropes with the Coach on Sirius XM channel 156. 5 p.m. Eastern time is the Coach and Bro Show with me and Vince Russo. And then 7 p.m. Eastern time tonight, me, Mikey P, and Raphael. We count down to Monday Night Football, the Chiefs and the Jags. So we got ourselves a busy day. So let's go get after it. That'll do it for now. I am the coach for Mikey P, producer man. We'll see you next time, tomorrow morning, right here on the Coaching Company podcast. Take care.